All right, so this video we got kind of a fun one for you, because you know I'm a fun guy. So let's get into it. We're going to be creating a voice to text app, so you can kind of create some notes strictly with your voice. And we're going to be doing this in React, and we're not going to be using any outside libraries other than that. So strictly React. What else? There's nothing else, I guess. So yeah, it's basically a web API that uses your microphone. Some browsers aren't going to be so good on this, so I would suggest using Node, but yeah, check it out for yourself and see if that works. So this is what we have right here. It's just a create React app. You should know how to do that. And what else? We have some CSS I added, so that'll be in the GitHub repo in the description. But just some basic stuff. And other than that, I think we can jump right into this. So let's go. So we have this open. We have this running. So let's, this is just your basic create React app. Nothing special there. And we can come back here, and we don't need our terminal open right now. I ran yarn start to get that going. So we can close that, and we're going to do everything in this one app.js file. So I'm going to get rid of that too. Let you see this a little bit better. Okay, and yeah, we don't need a logo here, so we can get rid of that. Let's get rid of everything in here. I think that should work for us. And is that it? I think that might be it. So let's start by, actually, we don't need this div either, or this class name. So get rid of that. Okay, so let's come up to the top here, and we're just gonna bring in a few things from here. So let's come over here, and we're gonna go, and we're gonna need state for this. So we're gonna bring in use state, and we're gonna bring in use effect, which we'll be using later. And that's from React, so that's great. Then we're gonna come down here, and let's actually just start creating a little structure for our app, so we can kind of take a look at what it's gonna be. So we're gonna come in here, and let's go. We have a couple classes that we're gonna add on to here. I said I added some CSS, so that'll be in the index, I think, .css file. But let's add a class name here. Class name has to be capitalized like that. And that's going to be equal to container. And then below this, we're going to have another div. And it's going to be class name of box. Come down there. And inside here, we're just going to have an H2. And it's going to be a notes app like I mentioned. So we're going to say current note. And then below that, what else are we going to have? We're going to have a button, I guess. So let's go here, we'll go button. And then that button is going to say save the note. So we can save it to a group of notes, which we're going to create. And then we're going to have a second button below that. So we'll go button again. And that one is just going to say, is going to be our start and stop. So that'll be like turning the mic on and off, basically. And then I guess that's good for that. Let's come down below, and we'll have another div here. And that's going to have another same class name as box. And inside this one, we're going to have an H2. And that's going to say notes. And that'll be all the notes. And I think that is pretty good for our kind of starting markup. So we'll go ahead and save that. Come back here, and we can see if we have any issues. So this is just kind of the basic markup that we have. Nothing, but you'll be able to create a note in here using just your voice once you press start, and you'll save the note, and the note will go to a list over here. So nothing crazy, pretty basic. So let's get into actually coding some of this functionality. So the first thing we're going to do is going to be outside of the function here. So we're gonna come down, give ourselves a little bit of room, and we're gonna const, and we're gonna say speech recognition, if I can spell that right. And that's gonna be equal to window. So that's on the window JavaScript object. So this is gonna be outside of your function. And we're gonna go speech recognition. And then we're gonna go or, and this is gonna be for Chrome. We have to go window.webkit, webkit, what is it? Speech recognition. Okay. And then, so that's good. Speech reg, yeah, that's good. So then come down below that and we'll go const, and we'll just call this mic. So this will be the mic's on or off, and that'll be new speech recognition, and then we'll call that right there. Okay, the first is gonna be mic.continuous, and that's gonna equal to true. And then we're gonna go below that, and we're gonna go mic.interim results, and that's gonna be equal to true. And then we're gonna go mic.lang, and that's gonna be our language, obviously, and that's brackets. And then we're gonna go en.us is the code for that, so that's English US. Okay, so that's good. So let's get in and start setting up some of our state and whatnot. So let's come down here below the function, above the return, and we're gonna set our is listening state. So we do that by going const, and we're gonna go is listening, and set is listening. Okay, and then that's gonna be equal to use state, and that's gonna start as false, false. And then below that, we're gonna go const, and we're gonna go note, and set note, and that's gonna be equal to use state again. And that is, we're gonna start as null. It's gonna have no value, and then const, and we're gonna go saved notes and set saved notes there. And that is going to be equal to use state again. And that is going to be an empty array. So this is, this is equal to. So this is where we're going to set our saved notes, which is going to be an array of all our notes that we're going to loop over and print out there. So what else do we need to do? Let's go down and let's fill out some of what we need to have here. So I'm going to come down, and above this, actually, let's just, we're just going to put some brackets there. There we go. And we come back up, and above here, we just want to have an H1, and that's going to say voice notes. Okay, then we can come down here, and we're going to start. What are we going to start? Let's add some handlers, I guess. That would be the best way to go. So on our button, both these are going to have an on clicks. So let's add an on click there, and that's going to be equal to handle save note. Okay, and we haven't created that obviously yet, but we will. And we're also going to add a disabled property on this. So we can say disabled, and that's going to be equal to not, so we're negate the note. So when we're not listening, or when there's no note, then this is going to be disabled. And otherwise it will not be. Okay, so that's good. Save note. Then let's come down to this button here. And again, we can do an on click. And then this one's going to be equal to what? We can just do an inline function actually here. So we'll just do it in line like this, and then we'll go set is listening, and we'll set that to the previous state, and arrow function, and the opposite of the prev state there. Okay, So that's how you want to inline. You want to set your state like this. And that's how it's recommended to do it in React. And I think that looks good. Make sure that's all good. Stop start. Go ahead and save that. It'll reformat for us. Okay, and then below this button here, this is where we're gonna have our actual note. So let's come in, we'll do a p tag, and then we'll just have note in here. Okay, that's good. And then we're gonna come down again, give ourselves a little more room again. And then in this next box, this is where we're gonna have all of our different notes. So let's come down below here, and we're gonna go save notes, and then we're gonna map over these, and we're going to, we've already used note, so we're just gonna use n instead of note. And for each note in the notes, each n in the notes, we're gonna open up some brackets here, and we're gonna have a p tag, which is gonna have a key on it, because you gotta set the key. So the key is just gonna be an n. Now, usually you'd want some sort of ID or something so that you want the key to always be unique, but we're just gonna say that hopefully your keys are, or your notes are fairly unique anyways. And then we're just gonna put n in. So this is gonna be in a p tag, we're gonna have each individual note, which we're calling n, and that is that for that. Okay, and then one other thing we wanna have up here. So if we wanna come down below this current note here, open up some brackets, and we're gonna go is listening, and we're gonna do a ternary operator there, and we're just gonna put a span, and nope, not a spawn, span tag. And in that span tag, we're gonna put a microphone. So I have this extension here. Let's see if it works, Studio Mic. That's what we want. And then, so that means when we are is listening is true, we're gonna put the mic, and otherwise we're gonna put the disabled mic. So we're gonna go span again, and if I can get that to work, maybe not, span, and then inside this, we're gonna do another one. So again, this is just a little plugin, but you could put stop and start, or is listening and is not listening, and then we'll go mic again. So these will be tell us when we're listening and when we're not listening. But I think that's pretty good for our markup. So now we're gonna do a few things, including create this handle SaveNote and whatnot. So let's go back up to the top, and we'll just go and create the HandleListen and the handle create note. So the first thing we want to do is be able to create, is do the HandleListen. So let's come down here and give ourselves a bit of room here. So we're gonna go const HandleListen, and that is gonna be equal to an arrow function here, and open up some brackets there. I'm going to start by going if is listening. So if that's true, then we're going to go mic.start, and this is all part of the voice API. So mic.start, and then we're going to go mic.onEnd, and we're gonna say that's equal to, and do a function here. And inside here, we're just gonna console.log continue, and give us a few dots, and then mic.start. So what's happening here is on mic.end, after a while, it's gonna turn the mic off. So we're gonna wanna continue listening. So that's that function, and this is just starting up our mic, which hopefully is all good. So that's good. What else? Or if, so then we have an else here. So we're gonna go else, and we're gonna go mic.stop, which will stop our mic, call that, and mic.onEnd here, and the same thing here, another function. And let's come here, and we're just gonna console dot And what are we gonna say? Stop what mic on click. Sure, that'll work. And then let's come down here. Where are we? Below, right here. And we're gonna do a mic dot on start. Mic dot on start. Now this is lowercase, remember. That could be a good gotcha there. And another function here. And we're gonna go in console.log and we'll say, what do we want to say? Mic's on, to tell that the mic is on. And then again below here, we are going to go mic dot on result. I'll keep doing that, but remember it's lowercase here. Mic dot on result, and that's going to equal the event. So we're passing in the event there, and we're going to go const and transcript. As transcript, there we go. And that is going to be equal to an array. So we're creating an array here, dot from, and we're going to pass in the events dot results. So these are going to be the results we're getting back from the event. So we're going to speak into the mic, and it's going to give us back some results from that. And then that's not going to be in an array form. So array.from is going to turn that into an array. And then we're going to map over all these results. So we're going to get back all this text, and we're going to map over that, and we're going to say result, and we're going to get result at 0. So we're going to get the first result back from there. And then we're going to map over that again. So we're mapping on mapping on mapping. And we're going to get results. And again, we're going to go and get the result dot transcript. Script. Typing's hard. And then from that, we're going to come and we're going to join that. Join at the empty string. All right, so we got a lot of stuff here, but this is what we're going to try to create, is a transcript of our voice to text. So that's going to come in the event. We're going to turn it into an array from the event.results. We're going to map over, get each result, and then take the first result here, map over that, and then we're going to get the result.transcript, which is going to be its own property on there. And then we're going to join that at as an empty string. And then let's just console.log, and we can say transcript. Can't spell transcript for some reason. There we go. And then we want to handle the error too. So we're going to go mic.onError. Remember, all these are lowercase. Event, and that's going to be let's console.log event.error. Okay, so that'll get our error handled. Okay, so I know that's a lot. This is going to be our HandleListen, which will be called, we're not actually calling it. What we are calling though is the handle SaveNote. And what else are we calling? We're also setting the isListening, which will trigger this. And I'll show you right now how we're gonna trigger that. So we're gonna do that in a useEffect. So that's why we brought in useEffect up here. So let's come up above this HandleListen we have here. And you can see it's grayed out because we haven't created this yet. So let's go useEffect, and I think we get some stuff. Let's get rid of all this. And we're gonna go and we're gonna call this. So this second, we're gonna pass in here. The second option we're gonna pass in here is when we wanna update on useEffect, and we wanna do that on isListening. So every time there's a change to isListening, we'll run useEffect. And all we're gonna do is HandleListen. and we'll call that. So anytime there's a change to isListening, which we've set in the state up here, we're gonna use effect to be called, which will in turn call HandleListen, which will run this function we created here. And if there's no errors in this HandleListen, good Lord, I would be very surprised. So we'll have to debug potentially, but maybe we just nailed it. So that is good. And I think, is that it? What else do we need? HandleListen. Oh, we haven't saved our notes. So we also have this handle save note we haven't created. So that's our other button. So we can let's come just below here, and we'll give her a little bit of room, and we'll just go const handle save note, and that's going to be equal to a arrow function. And what do we got inside here? We're going to go set save notes, and then we're going to pass in an array, and we're going to spread in all the save notes, and then we're going to add to that the current note in the state. And then after that, we want to set the note state back to an empty string. So let's save that. Let's maybe just check looks like we got some errors here. Oh, so right here, and I don't know if you can see this error very well, but it's nice because it's our line number, and we can say 26. So we can go to line 26 here, mic.start, and sorry, that's not it. And we haven't called that. So we want to go mic.start and call that. Let's see if that fixes anything. That fixes that error. So let's give it a look and see what we got. So we're going to start it, and you see our mic's on, and we should be hearing something, but we're not. So let's maybe come back and check it out. And it looks like what we're doing wrong is we're not actually setting a note, which we need to do. So we have this join here, and then we're console.login transcript. So that's great, but we never actually set the note. So let's go set note, note, and let's go and call that the transcript, and we'll set that to the result of this transcript. Okay, go ahead and save that, come back over. Now let's see how this works. We're gonna start it up, and now you can see we're going voice to text. So then we stop it, and it's there. And then if we wanna save the note, let's see if this works. We can save the note, and there's our first one. And we can do another one. So another test note here. Let's see how this works. And you can see how it changes as we type, and it kind of fixes itself a little bit as it goes. I don't know if I can show you this here. Let's inspect this, and let's go to our console. And as you can see, I'll try to bump this up a little bit. As we go, let's clear this out actually. And let's try this again. So mic's on, we're trying this out. This is how we're trying it out. This is the effect of the words we are saying. Very eloquent. So that is good. So as you can see, it fixes kind of as it goes. And obviously it's getting some stuff wrong, or maybe I just don't know how to talk. So that's another option. But as you can see, that is working pretty good. And then if we want to save this note again, it'll give us another note here. Now, of course, if we go ahead and refresh this, it's going to clear all our notes because we haven't added any save to state or local storage or anything like that, any sort of backend. I do have a video. The last video I did was on use local storage and how to do custom hooks. So if you want to add that to this project, I'd suggest watching that video and going ahead and doing that. But I think that's pretty good. You can see the little emoji things we have here that says the mic's on now, and it tells us when the mic's on, and then the mic stopped then. So I think that's about it. The code for all this will be in the description in the GitHub link. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe or give me a like. And until the next one, thanks for watching.